just watched the latest episode of Ahsoka, and it kind of inspired me to want to just do something on YouTube. Basically, because of my love for Star Wars and especially the Dave Filoni verse. We're in the Filoni era, and I want to talk about the episode. I know it's like jumping in right in the middle, but it was amazing. This will be a spoiler video, so just be warned if you don't like any of that. If you don't like spoilers, just don't watch it. But God, I'm gonna have to watch it again simply because it hits you hard. Basically, Ahsoka's in the world between worlds, where they showed in Rebels, and it was her old master, Anakin Skywalker himself, that showed up to greet her. And my God, does he look good? That man looks good, even though he's older, obviously. And when he calls her Snips, and you see a little bit of a Matt Latner mannerisms in there, like in his voice when he says Snips and when he says certain things to her, and it's really fun. And you see like everything just coming together, and it's I don't know, Dave Filoni. That he's a genius. Whether you like what he's doing or not, he is giving us just Star Wars. Like, to me, it just feels like he still respects George Lucas, and he's not doing it for profit. He's doing it for the love, and that's what made me want to just record a video on it. So basically, they meet, and then he's like, "I'm here to complete your training," and she's like, "No." No, it's too late for that. And it was strange because you see him go, and he has like this, he's still playful, and also he's in his episode 3 like Jedi robes, so he looks great. And but he tells her, basically, you live or die, and you're like, what? Or fight or die or something. And then they fight, and Ahsoka doesn't want to fight, but they start fighting, and Anakin's just, he's going in on her. And it was nice to see, like, Hayden Christensen, he can definitely still fight. And fighting your student fighting master, it was sad, but also, like, exciting. And they have a little sparring session, and then she kind of uses like a force kick, something like that, and then she's like, there's nothing left you can teach me. And then he cuts the platform they're on, because Realm Between Worlds or whatever is like a see-through platform, and he cuts it, and she falls into the clouds, and then she gets up as little Ahsoka, Clone Wars Ahsoka, in the middle of a battle. And I think it's one of those battles from the Clone Wars series where, because she's a child, her inexperience gets the clone brothers killed. A lot of the clones killed, and you hate to see it. You hate to see so many clone brothers go down. Like, it's painful. Like, they're still living beings, and I love the clones personally. Clone Wars era is like, that's my peak, and it was just very, very sad to see that she's struggling with the weight of command, like you see in the Clone Wars. And what was sad was you realize more in live action. She's a child, and Anakin's basically telling her. By the way, Anakin's wearing Clone Wars Jedi armor, and it is. It's beautiful. I won't lie to you. This episode had me in tears. Like, I was so happy. I'm not gonna record that, but it hit me. It got me. It wasn't fan service. It was part of the story. It was part of who Ahsoka becomes, and basically her lessons with Anakin and the Clone Wars. And he's telling her, he said when I was trained, him and Obi-Wan, he says basically I was trained as a keeper of the peace. And he's telling her, I have to train you to be a warrior. And you're kind of like, oh my god, because you see it's a younger girl playing Ahsoka, and you just see Ahsoka as a child, and you're asking her to be a general or commander in a war that's costing lives. And they even have a little moment where Anakin does his very reminiscent of the Clone Wars Anakin. He cracks a joke, and Ahsoka's like, are you serious right now? Basically, like, why are you joking? He's like, I'm joking. And she's like, why can't you be more serious? And then, he's like, you want me to be serious? Like, it was kind of scary because you see, this is still very much the episode 2 impatient, quick to anger Anakin. He's an amazing warrior, but he's still very much emotional, And it was just sad to see how he's like, because she's basically, I think this is just Ahsoka in general as an adult reliving this, but he's like, you have to fight. She's like, what if I don't want to fight anymore? And he just tells her, you die. So I think the big thing too Ahsoka's struggling with is she's tired of fighting, and you see it. She might be balanced and all that, maybe she's not, maybe she's just better at hiding her feelings, like Obi-Wan. She can compartmentalize, and maybe she doesn't want to be emotional, right? And you see it in this. She's tired. She doesn't want to do it anymore. And Anakin tells her, if you give up fighting, you're gonna die. And it was cool because then you see episode 3 Anakin appear again behind her, and he's looking around, and then the scene changes again, and it's the Battle of Mandalore, the Siege of Mandalore, and you see Ahsoka taking on Maul DeLoreans, the Darth Maul Mandalorians. That'd be cool with the horns, but it was cool. She was taking him out like in the show, and we get our first look. Oh my god, our first look at live action Captain Rex. Oof. And it was Tamora Morrison's voice, and I was a mess. I was so happy. So basically, he tells Ahsoka, Captain Rex tells Ahsoka, I got it. We got this. You hold back. And you see episode 3 Anakin come in, because I think at this point he's a Force ghost. It's a Force ghost Anakin, basically, trying to help Ahsoka learn something. Maybe not. You're kind of thinking that too. You're like, is it Force ghost Anakin, or is it just her? Maybe her guilt for leaving Anakin. And he's walking. Anakin's walking, and he's like, I don't remember this battle. And she's like, you weren't here. This is the Siege of Mandalore. And anyone that's watched the Clone Wars, you get hit with that realization. You're like, oh my god, during this battle, Anakin was falling to the dark side. Anakin was doing all the horrible things. This is where they split in the Clone Wars. It's really sad when you realize that. And they have a little argument, and it's still the kid actress playing Ahsoka. It's not Rosario Dawson, but she's got it. she's got the Rosario Dawson, and then Rosario Dawson has the whole Ahsoka thing down. So it's great. For me, it's great. um, and she kind of throws it in Anakin's face. What she did. Like what she did, and Anakin's like, you see him take that personal. Like he's like, we're going there, huh? Like he doesn't like that. It's like that's what made me feel weird. Like if he's a ghost, right? Would he be this way still? Because he took that a personal jab, and he got upset with it, and it made me feel like if this is an Anakin Force ghost, which we'll probably find out from Dave later, Dave Filoni, I think it's very much what they were going to do in The Force Awakens. I don't know. So when The Force Awakens was a thing, was not really a thing yet. It was exciting because there was rumors that Hayden was going to show up as Force Ghost, half dark, half light, half Vader, half Anakin, and then it was just concept art and they scrapped it. So I felt that in this, that maybe they were doing that, like maybe because basically Anakin's kind of the embodiment of dark and light now, and because Obi-Wan saved him at the end of Return of the Jedi, he showed him how to become a Force ghost before he died, after Vader was killed basically and then Anakin was back. Obi-Wan in the Force was like, hey, we don't have time to talk, I'm gonna show you how to not die. And I need to see if that's still canon, but as far as I know, it's still a thing. And Anakin's saved. He's a Force ghost, and you see it in Return of the Jedi. You see it, and then George edited Hayden in there, which is great. I love Hayden in it. I just love Hayden Christensen so much in his performance. I've always loved it. And so you see that, and you kind of there's a moment where Anakin goes Sith Anakin, like his eyes turn orange, and he pulls his lightsaber out, and it's a red blade, and you're kind of like, oh my god, he's scary. Oh, because Ahsoka tells him, you're dangerous. You were always dangerous. And, basically, like, nobody wanted to, I think she said, like, nobody wanted to see it or accept it. And you see that, like, wow, she went for it. And Anakin gets mad, and he's trying to teach her something. But he goes dark Anakin and Sith Anakin, and you see how powerful he is. And they're fighting. This is still young Ahsoka. And yeah, you never see how strong Anakin was, and you kind of don't want to, because that's the whole mystery of what regular, not Darth Vader Anakin, flesh and blood Anakin, how powerful he would have been. And you see that he kind of, like, Ahsoka has no chance. They end up back in the realm between worlds, and they keep fighting, and then it goes back to Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, older Ahsoka, and you see her struggling. Like she's more defensive and Anakin's very offensive, as he always is, right? And then she counters him, and she tells him, he says something like, I'm sorry, I'm going off memory. Basically tells her to die, and then Ahsoka says, she counters him, she takes his sword, holds it to his throat, and she's like, I choose to live. And I was like, yes, because then she throws Anakin's saber, and then Anakin closes his eyes, and he goes back to good light side Anakin. And it was nice, because then you see, oh, okay, he was trying to teach her something, because then he does the Anakin smile, the Hayden Christensen smile, and says, there's hope for you yet. And then she awakens in the water because she fell off the cliff in the last episode when she lost her battle. I think, does that mean she was dead? I've heard theories too about like the sister, the owl from oh my god, from the Mortis arc. The sister, those are the brother and the sister, the light side, dark side, and then the father. The sister dies in that episode in the Clone Wars, and she becomes like this owl. And ever since then, the owl has been present whenever Ahsoka's there. You see the owl there. I don't think we've seen that. Yeah, we have seen the owl, I think. But apparently, there's like theories. I've heard theories saying like, oh, Ahsoka's immortal, or the sister watches out for her, keeps her alive. So I have no idea. If she did die, she had basically a very spiritual experience with Anakin. I like to think it's real. I like to think it all happened. It's more than just being happy to see Hayden. I think it happened though. I think it was real. A cool part too is Hera and Kanan. Kanan's name was name dropped. Kanan Jarrus. His name was dropped in live action. I was so happy. And then Jason was very much Hera and Kanan's son was in a lot of the episode with Chopper, and it was cool because I think it was real what happened to Ahsoka, because he hears lightsaber fighting and they're looking for Ahsoka because she fell in the water, and they're like, he's like, Mom, I hear something, and she's like, I don't hear anything. He's like, listen, I hear lightsabers. And she stops and she listens, and she realizes, oh my god, he's force sensitive. So it's exciting because now you're like, oh my god, is Ahsoka gonna train him? Are they gonna send him to Luke? Or are they just gonna leave it alone? Because it looks like they want to leave it alone. Like they're happy, they're excited. Because I think it's more happy because it's like, oh my god, Jason is very much his father's son. And he's wearing the shoulder pauldron, Kanan's shoulder pauldron from Rebels. It's so nice. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then, so at that part, because they're searching for Ahsoka while Ahsoka's having this, and then, oh my god, the New Republic. Ooh, the politics is exhausting because you see, yeah, they're not the bad guys, but they're being very bureaucratic about everything and proper channels, and they're treating Hera like a loose cannon when Hera's General Syndulla. Like, respect her. You wouldn't have won the war without people like her, and you're treating her like a child that needs permission? She's not reckless. She's a damn hero. And basically they're threatening to ground her and demote her permanently and take away her general status and for helping Ahsoka, and they want, because they don't believe that the Empire's back. So it's very annoying. It's very annoying. But that's what happens, right? When the victor of the war, and then you realize, was it all really that bad? No, the Empire is awful. The Empire was evil. They just made it seem like they weren't, and a lot of people ate that up. They bought it. Because the rebellion wasn't that big. It was spread out. But it wasn't like a massive, Army of the Grand Republic level versus the Separatists. It was, rebel factions that joined together to fight, and if they lost, every battle was like, if we lose this battle, we are screwed. Or we gotta retreat, and it's just weird to see how they take power so smoothly, and they're already behaving like that, where they're like, they don't believe her, and it's like, excuse me, if I say the Empire's back, why would a war hero from the rebellion say the Empire's back? And then they're just treating her like she's crazy. So that's the whole thing with Thrawn, right? Is no one believes that Thrawn is out there, but that's the whole point. So we're getting closer to Thrawn. That's where they managed to get Ahsoka out of the water, because I guess she comes back to this realm. or the realm in the Star Wars realm. They find her in the water, and she's still saying Anakin's name. It was really nice. It was really nice to see Hayden. It was really nice. But now she's like, she does the I'm so excited. I forgot his name. Cal Kestis, the Cal Kestis Force Echo thing. She touches the little ball that they were using to map out where Ezra is, and it was destroyed in the last episode. But she's like, Sabine touched it, so maybe there's an echo. And it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they did it. And they show Ahsoka using the Force, reaching it into the Force. She gets the echo. She finds out what happens. Sabine's alive, but they took her. But you kind of see it in her eyes, like she's worried because she heard everything. And Sabine gave in. I don't think she gave in to the enemy. She gave in because she wants to save Ezra. But they're using her emotional state. They're manipulating her as Darksiders do, right? So Ahsoka's aware of that, I'm sure. So she's worried. So Ahsoka figures out how to get to her by the space whales, the Purgles. She looks up and she sees the Purgles in the atmosphere. And and also Hera's dealing with the New Republic because they're saying, hey, we're coming to get you. We're not asking. If you don't come with us, we're gonna basically throw you out. You're not gonna be a general anymore. And they tell her, you need Ahsoka. Oh, it was Mon Mothma. And she's like, basically, you gotta come back. And Hera's like, Ahsoka's not gonna come back. She's not gonna listen. It's Ahsoka, right? Like, who? Again, heroes of the rebellion. These are your champions, and you're treating them like rabid dogs. That's how I feel. I mean, there's the other side where they are acting like loose cannons, rabid dogs, the war's over, blah, blah, blah. But I love these characters, so I'm on their side. I'm on their side. They wouldn't be doing this to be reckless. And as the audience, we know that, right? We know the story. They're out there. The Empire, the Remnant, they're out there. Thrawn is out there. So basically you say, Hera and Ahsoka have to go back, stand trial with the Senate, whatever, the New Republic Senate, and she's like, Ahsoka's not gonna like that, she's not gonna listen, and she's like, well, she has to because she's your witness testimony. It's like, oh wow, that's terrifying. But Ahsoka's like, nah, I know how to get to Sabine. We're using the whales. She does the Ezra whale communication with, I guess, most Jedi are supposed to have this ability to be able to communicate with animals. I feel like that's a thing. I think most Jedi, because Kanan is the one that taught Ezra, but Ezra excelled at it. That's the thing. Like every Jedi can do it, but I think Ezra was one of those Force users that were really, really good at communicating or feeling animals. So Ahsoka does that with the Purgle, the massive Purgle. And basically it opens its mouth and it's like, get in, let's go. So they fly the ship in. They basically, the New Republic has to move out of the way because the Purgles are coming, and that's where it ends off, with the whale tails going hyperspace, like the microphone right here. It's like, it was sad though, 'cause she's like Ahsoka tells Hera, like, looks like you can't come with me this time. And Hera's like, it's okay. She's like, I'll get them back. She's like, Ahsoka tells Hera, I'll get them back, I promise. And Hera says, may the Force be with you. And it was really, really nice. Like, you almost felt like, imagine if this was like a movie and this was episode what? This would be episode 1 or episode 2, like, and it ends there. And now you gotta wait like 3 years for episode 3 to finish up of the Ahsoka arc. That'd be cool. That's what it feels like. I would be depressed if that happened. But that was it. That was no Obi-Wan. We got the God, it would have been cool to see Obi-Wan. But I guess, yeah. Clone Wars Obi-Wan. We still need to see Clone Wars Obi-Wan. That would be cool. And we got to see the what is it? Phase 1 clone trooper armor with the little fins. You know, the fins. It was really cool. It was cool to see Mandalorians. It was really nice to see the Mandalorians. I'm always excited to see Mandalorians. This should tell you, you know. And hearing Tamora Morrison, that was really, really nice. They did show young Ahsoka with her green lightsaber too at one point. That was really fun. It was just throwbacks, callbacks, which I don't mind. And I just love Star Wars, so I'm happy. We got to see Chopper do it. and yeah, I'm excited for next week. I'm living for these Tuesdays now, which I never thought I would say, because Tuesdays are just the Tuesdays, right? But I want to do this. I've been inspired. I'm excited. I want to start my channel. I've been sitting on the sidelines, thinking about it, not thinking about it at all, thinking about it a lot. But today's episode, wow, it, for me personally, it lit me on fire. And I hope I find an audience out there, not looking for clicks and views. I want to just connect to people that still just love Star Wars. And if you don't, tell me why. Tell me why you didn't, so we can talk about that too. Because I don't want to debate. I want to just have a conversation. I want more nerds to come out and join me at the Hyperspace Cafe. See ya.